Hi, everybody. Welcome to sound design class. So, there's a saying in Sound Design 101, which is, see a dog, hear a dog. And for many BlizzCons now, sound designers have demonstrated all manners of techniques in creating the sound of that dog. Let's do one right now. Here's a quick excerpt of a cutscene from StarCraft II, Legacy of the Void. That's Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades, with Jimmy Raynor, and we are going to create the sound of her turning her head. So how do we approach that? Let's take a look at her. Well, she's covered in bony fragments, held together by infested Zerg tendon, wrapped by sinewy tissue, kind of reptilian-clad, pretty leathery. And I have the perfect objects for that leathery sound: a belt and an old worn wallet. Now, legend has it, this was also used to create the sound of a certain 360-degree head turn of a demon-possessed child in a 1973 movie, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you twist it, it should sound like this. Hello? Can you hear that at all? It's pretty quiet, but don't worry. I have a recording of this turned up. This is what it should sound like. Okay, let's see how that might work to the video. One more. All right, not bad. I cheated a little bit. I snuck in the sound of her clackety hair at the last take there. So, what did I just do wrong? There's another important aspect to our craft, Sound Design 201, if you will, apart from just complementing what you see on screen with sound, and that is the impetus of sound, right? How do we decide what sound should play? Why is something heard or not heard, right? What is the motivation? What are we communicating? Let's watch this segment again, this time with the dialogue, and see if you can tell what's actually being conveyed here. Here we go.
Worlds destroyed. There's blood on my hands. I need to cleanse it. This is my destiny.
So what's happening here? She says, "This is my destiny." But what does she mean? So in movies, dialogue is what is said, but subtext is what is meant. So what is the subtext here? This is the moment where Kerrigan commits to her humanity again, right? We've waited so long through StarCraft I and Brood War, and Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. And now finally, in Legacy of the Void, Kerrigan chooses redemption, to undo that tragedy and betrayal that's accompanied her for all this time. So how do we convey that through audio? Should we make her sound all leathery and sinewy, like a crazy Zerg creature? But it works to the visuals. Now see, that would be exactly opposite of what we're trying to convey here, which is her humanity, her human side, not her crazy monster side. Right? In this instance, story dictates what you hear, not the visuals. Narrative drives the sound design. So, and we don't want an alien sound, that sound of that kink in her neck when she turns her head, to detract away from the humanity at this moment. So let's have a listen to this version.
Worlds destroyed? There's blood on my hands. I need to cleanse it. This is my destiny.
So that's a kinder, gentler version, right? More accessible. So knowing when not to use a sound is just as important as knowing when to use a sound, right? Let's do another one. You all know this guy? That's Alarak, High Lord of the Tal'Darim Protoss. Now, what would his footsteps sound like? Right? He's one big burly evil dude. He's wearing powerful heavy armor adorned with terrazine-fueled blood shards with bane blades attached to his forearms. He should sound large and foreboding and weighty, right? Maybe something like this. Okay, cool. Let's break down the individual elements, you can clap, that make up Alarak's walking sound. Okay, first up we have edited bits of character armor movement from our awesome Foley artists. Okay, next, rattling metal latches. Okay, third up, stomping around in a big metal dumpster wearing ski boots. All right, and as always, we like to try something a little less obvious. In this instance, interior car door slams, which means they were recorded from inside the car. They sound way different when you record them from outside the car. So this is what it sounds like unprocessed. Okay, and this is what it sounds like after processing and some audio alchemy. Okay, once again, everything all glued together. Cool. Okay. So, what did I just do wrong? What's Alarak's personality like? Right? Even though he's this big, hefty, intimidating guy, he's not straight-laced. Right? He's really snarky and conceited. He's got a sarcastic, sneering wit about him. Here, listen to the way he talks.
Oh, well, this is truly a miracle.
Ah, did you hear that? What a cynic! And the hubris in his tone, right? How does this translate into the way he moves and carries himself? See, Alarak doesn't stomp. He doesn't do this, all serious and to the point, right? He's usually either really annoyed, like this, oh, you fools, why am I here? Oh, such a bother, right? Super dramatic, or he's really arrogant and bragging, like this. Oh yeah, I'm Alarak. Tal'Darim, High Lord. You know, like that, annoyed or arrogant, take your pick. So the mistake I made here in sound design is I didn't take into account his character, right? His personality. And sound has to do all of that in trying to sell it. Alarak doesn't stomp, he saunters. He ambles, and what that means is a heel-toe sound, something like this. Okay, so in the next video, notice how a heel-toe swagger, right, helps define Alarak's attitude and changes the vibe of the scene. Okay, here we go.
No. Hey, Mom. Through the breath of creation, I peer beyond the veil. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, what do you think? So using that heel-toe sound, the scene feels more laid back. It emphasizes his attitude more, his mockery, his snickery, right? It can be a bit subtle to pick up, but there's another saying in sound design: we love subtlety, just make it obvious. You got to be able to hear it first for it to be anything. So today we looked at two examples of Sound Design 201, where the visuals aren't the primary motivator for what you hear, where we've gone beyond see a dog, hear a dog. Sometimes it's the narrative, the story that drives the sound design. Other times it's the character and personality. Now, as for Sound Design 301, that will be for a future BlizzCon. I hope you enjoyed the class. Next up, Senior Sound Designer Jeff Garnett from Overwatch. Thank you.